Hey everybody, this is Jamie and I'm from my back porch and we're going to do a live today. So let's hold off, see who all is going to sign in and join us today. And I guess I can take this time to let you know I'm an artist in residence and I'm very proud to be one of those, to be able to show different um, finishes and different things and to help you guys learn how to use some of the products that she has. I see a lot of people asking questions about milk paint and gel stain and one step and that's what we're all here to do, is to help you guys be able to know how to use your products, know how to use them well, and what steps to use to take that. So we can start out. I'm going to show you a whitewashing technique, and I've got some samples here to start with. I have a piece of furniture that I finished up, and I will show you that. And I realized that I did not print my before picture before I started, so I won't have my before picture, but it's very easy to describe. So the products that we're going to be using, let's see, we'll go in order. I'm going to use Java. Amy Howard's One Step Paint in Java. This is just a beautiful, nice chocolatey tan color. I would say milk chocolate. Then we're gonna use Amy Howard's Auburn Mahogany, the gel stain. And I love this stuff. It works so well. Water-based, washes right off your hands and nails. Great. We're also going to use the glazed over, which is a glaze. I'm going to use that with the stain and just to help me be able to spread things out a little bit. And the one product that's great for whitewashing, wrong color, is I'm using Almond Days. I'm not using a white because I kind of wanted a more neutral look, but this is the product that I'm going to use, the Amy Howard One Step, to do the whitewashing. So if you were on today, I can't see any of your comments because I got my phone turned backwards, but go ahead and comment where you're from. Ask any questions after my live. I will go on. I will answer any questions you have to the best of my ability. And I'm pretty sure Amy Howard and her staff will be able to do that too. So to start with, I'm going to explain. Well, let me flip you down here. Hang on just a sec. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try to get high enough. And I'm backwards. So y'all make sure if I hold something up that I hold it up this way instead of that way. So what I'm going to start out pointing out is I picked a board that had some stuff that I didn't think was very pretty. And part of the reason I'm showing this is um, when I had my before piece, I I actually stripped it because I was going to start out. And when I stripped it, I found all kinds of defects with it, where somebody had gone through the veneer on the top, all kinds of problems. I was like, well, great, because if I'm going to whitewash just over plain wood, I would kind of like to have a nice color underneath. So you can do the whitewashing over plain wood if you have really nice wood. The last step I'm doing, you can easily do just over your plain wood. But we're going to start out in case you have a problem with your piece. Something's not too pretty, or you know what? You don't want to strip it. I get that. So I absolutely hate stripping furniture, honestly. If it would, you paint it on and it just, you wiped a paper towel over it and it came off, then I would be happy with that. I would use it. And yes, I do strip furniture, but I hate it. So, okay. So here is our Java. Let me find where to put my lid. Um, oh wait, I was going to use that for the white one. Oh, hang on. I got one, but it's been sitting in colored water overnight. So let me dry it off real quick. Probably shouldn't have left it in water, but better than letting your paintbrush die, right? Okay, so the first step I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to paint over this here. Don't like that. So we're going to just pull this out, and this is just as simple as painting on. And yes, I'm painting this right over raw wood. And this is just kind of my sample board here so that you guys can see. But literally painting over a piece of furniture is just this easy. So we're going to get this done, and you see the coverage of this Java, and you see how it's almost got that milk chocolate, delicious looking color. And what it's doing here, why I'm using this color, is because I like the tan. I want it to have, you know, those stripped furniture where they've just whitewashed it is very popular right now. But if you don't like what you've got to work with, you can use this. This Java is a great undercoat if you want to have that. So we're done with that. And I have pre-made boards that are already dry, but I'm going to save this because when we get to the whitewashing, I'm going to show you how you can whitewash over the raw wood as well. So here we go. Ta-da. This is it all dried. So now I'm going to start making it look kind of like wood. So what I did, let me put the lid on that Java. Can't have any spilling. What I did was I first of all took some of the glazed over. Well, here, I already have a glass mixed up. I took some of the glazed over, and all I did was I poured just a little bit in. Okay. That's probably more than we need because it's just a nice little, that's got paint on it. I want to kind of clean my, there we go. Okay, we're done with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in my stain, and I don't need much, but I'm just going to put in just a little. Oop, should have worn my gloves. Oh well. Now I have just this little brush here. I'm going to stir this up. And this is glazed over mixed with stain. And the reason I mixed in the stain is I want to give that overall look, but I also wanted to use the glazed, oops, I wanted to use the glazed over to work with the glaze. So I do want to show you something before we get started with this. Yeah, let me find, there's my scissors. I want to show you what I do. This is prep for dry brushing. I like to come in and do a little trimming to my brush. Now, if you have a chip brush, chip brushes work really well because, especially if you're going to trim them. I love these brushes, but it seems a shame. But what I'm doing is I'm making a rough edge so it doesn't look like I'm using a paintbrush. And now it looks like my paintbrush has shed, like my dog's. There we go. Just, and I'll rub that off. See, the back looks, but I'm gonna use that. So it's, see how it's just kind of got that rough edge. I'm gonna use that with the stain. So we put those scissors out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to just paint this on. Now, one thing you need to have handy when you do this is paper towels. I like to use the shop version of the paper towel because it doesn't have any texture, any design to it. So that doesn't come back through. Okay. So we're just kind of slapping this on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel, and I like to do this. I like to fold it in half like that. I like to fold it in half again and then bring these two edges. I know it's kind of like, do you remember ironing your dad's handkerchiefs? So, but this gives me all kinds of different spaces to work with. Let me, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just wipe this off a little bit because I don't need it all. And by doing that, I'm giving a little bit of that texture. See here, we're getting a little of that stain in, and it kind of looks like a little bit of a wood texture. And this is just my base. And then I'm going to come back with my cut brush. I love how that's crooked. Let's move this down so you can see. There we go. And then I'm going to go back into my stain. And it doesn't take much. So I've just got a little bit on my brush there. And see how it's coming out with the lines. So if you're doing a whole drawer or a whole top, you're going to go over the whole thing. And the glaze allows it to not dry so quickly. So then I'm going to come back in with my folded paper towel or refold it. And we're going to come back in and we're going to wipe it away again. And so now we are getting kind of that layered look. It kind of has that little bit of a wood look. Is it look actually like wood? No. But does it help? Yes. And then I'm going to go back over, and this is kind of dry brushing a little bit, except, so I just kind of want some little lines here, kind of like this. I don't want to see the start of the line. And with the glaze, this is helping me. Oh, I got a big wad of paper towel over here. There we go. So once I've got that to where I want it, we're good. So now we're going to switch over to the next one. Set this down here. And this is the next one. Oh, I've got fresh wax on it. This is what it looked like with just the glaze when it dried. So it has a little bit of that stained color in there. You still see the Java. See, there's a piece of paper underneath here. I don't know if you can see that. We just covered that baby up. See that right there? So that's what the glaze. This here, I'll turn it around. It's easier to work with. I did the dry brushing sort of with the stain with the glaze, and I let it dry overnight. So this gives me a nice background that kind of has that wood look to it. So you can see the difference. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make our wash. And guys, this goes really quick. This is one of the easiest things you can do. So I'm now realizing I don't have a clean paintbrush. I may have to reach around me. So I'm going to put in just a little bit of paint. I don't need a lot because what I'm going to do is I am going to add, well, I'm going to wipe my finger off first. I am going to add water. So I would say, yeah, we just have a little here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to put like, I don't know, 4 parts water to this paint. So now we have just turned it in to a wash. So let me grab a clean paintbrush and have enough. Okay, this one will work. So let's stir that around a little bit. And this is the part where you also need another paper towel. You might even need 2 or a whole roll when you're doing a piece of furniture. I would suggest do a section at a time, finish it, and go on to the next section. So do a side, do the tabletop, whatever. So I'm just going to, I have a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just going to paint this white on over. You see how nice and thin it is? So what we're doing is we're washing over this piece. And since it's all watered down, it's not going to dry super fast. So now I'm going to pull out my paper towel, and remember how I folded this all up fancy? I'm going to fold it over the other way, and look, I've got more clean. So I'm going to start wiping it off. And see, I've got paint here. So that is spreading. So you see how that's lightened that up? So there we go. That is what you call whitewashing. Now, see, we have kind of an ugly edge here, hopefully. So I'm kind of at the edge. You just sit here and work it. If you want to do another layer and make it, I wouldn't say darker, but make it so you can see more of the whitewash, you can let it dry for just a minute. And then we can do some more on it. Let's see how that works. One thing about it is once you put it on, you can't just go back and touch up one spot because then you'll get little spots. So there, so we put more on. Fold it over. Let's see how that's a little bit darker. So you can go to whatever you want. I think that's paper towel. I'm going to leave it there. So that is your method on doing whitewash. So can you see? See, that looks pretty nice. It looks pretty close to a piece of furniture if you're covering something up. But let's go back to that other piece where it was just the raw wood. Let me show you on that. Here it is. So let's just do this over the raw wood here. I feel like I'm gonna knock my glass over. Okay. So I still have the same wash. I did not go and paint it with one step or anything. I mean, I would sand your piece so it's nice and smooth. This is just underlayment that I've had cut down. So we're just going to paint this on. Now remember, it was just about a fourth of paint and more water. So this is real thin. If you want to make it darker, add more paint. Let's do a new paper towel. Kind of covered that one up. Okay, see that kind of covered it, but I had it really light. So let's do this. Let's add some more paint. And maybe make it half and half. Stir that up. Okay. So we'll go back over this. See, it's a little bit more opaque here. And you can let it sit for a minute, let it soak. Really what it's doing is it's kind of soaking into the wood. So we've got it darker. And if you rub real hard, more is going to come off if you're light with it. So I'm going to do that lightly. Now, do you see how we've whitewashed it, or in this case, we've almond dazed it, because that's the color I'm using. So there you go. I mean, you can just take a whitewash piece of, take a raw wood piece of furniture, do this wash on it. You can wash just right over your paint. This is already dried. See, here's your one-step paint in Java. If you want to whitewash that, whitewash that. I mean, you can pretty much do anything. And remember, y'all, it's paint. You don't like it, you can paint over it. See, doesn't that have a pretty look? Wait, see, fold it over, clean. So there you go. That right there was still a little bit wet, so it's kind of blending in a little bit there. But so you see, we could do a whitewash right over paint. We can do a whitewash right over raw wood, or you can go those extra steps that I did and do the stain in there so that you've got some texture and some dimension. So one of the other things I wanted to show you before I showed you my finished piece was on my finished piece, I did the drawers in a gold leaf. So let's see how much time. We got some time. I want to show you how I did that. Let's see if we can do this real quick. This is pretty color. This is my, well, I can't show you if the lid's off. Let's put the lid back on so that I don't spill it on everything. There we go. Okay, this is gilding size. This is what you want to use if you're going to use gold leaf. And again, I'm running low on brushes, so let me just pour a little water in here and clean my brush. Y'all hold with me just a second. So if y'all have any questions about any of the processes that I just did, ask me and I will come back and I will answer any of your questions. Let's see, I'm reading upside down. Would this work on a faux wood bedroom set? Absolutely. Yes. So I'm going to we'll just use a little of this. I want it to be able, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's coming from my paintbrush. I'm just going to try to do this real thin so that it will dry quickly. So while we're waiting for that, let me I'm going to go around and I'm going to try to figure out how to do this without taking it off my stand. So here we go. There is my piece right there. It's on, let's see, let's move the table a little. So there it is, right here. So I did that technique up here on the top. You can see that. I have I did the Java and then I did the stain with the glazed over and then I went back over. I could probably do it again and lighten it up. And then I did the drawers here with gold leaf. So I gold leaf the drawers, I gold leaf the handles. I love this about this piece is it has this little thing. So I guess it's like a nightstand. So, but I gold leaf these, but you see it's not straight gold leaf. I went in and I kind of used that same technique. So I'm going to try to show you that. So this is my finished piece. I did have an example that I was working from that I found. I'm not sure where. And again, I forgot to print that out so you could see how close it was. But okay, let's dry. Well, this is where we're waiting for paint to dry. You don't want to put gold leaf over wet. Here's the gold leaf. Oop, upside down. You don't want to put it over the size with it being wet because then it will never fully stick. It'll stay wet underneath. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty close. Except for this piece right there. So we're going to open this up. It comes ripped up and then it comes in these little pages. I don't want to touch it yet. And it's always best. Of course, that paintbrush that's what you get when you get a cheap paintbrush, right? There we go. So it comes in these pages and then they are leafed in here. So we're just going to we'll just do one. Pull it over. And I'm going to lay it right down. So there we go. So we have some extra, and you can really play around with this stuff. And if you have too much air blowing, it's going to blow all over the place because I still have little gold leaf pieces floating around my shed from when I have to have the air conditioner, y'all. We're in Texas and it's hot. Okay, so there we go. Is it beautiful? No. Would I go back and do more? Probably, especially with this fancy little crack here. But we're going to go back to, see here, I have all of this floating around. Let's just get it stuck down. Okay, so if you want to, you can take, oops, you take these sheets and burnish it because you don't really want to touch it a whole lot with your fingers. Of course I did. So then I'll tear those pieces off. All right, so then to calm this down, I'm going to do, this is my glaze and stain mixture. I'm just going to paint over this. See how already it calmed it from that bright gold down to more of a tone down. It's going to match the piece better. You can wipe it back. The other thing I did was because since I had these markings in it, I went back with my stain brush. And you see how I've got some same technique that I did over the piece. So I've calmed it down there quite a bit. So that's what I did. Then I went back and I just gently removed a little, made it look like so it wasn't just brushes. Now, one thing, gold leaf does come off when you use something damp, wet, unless you've sealed it. So if you're going to have something that's going to be around water, I could sit and rub on it and it's going to distress and eventually wipe that gold leaf off. So if you don't want that, don't do that or seal it. So again, that glaze just helped give me a base there. So that's how I did those drawers. So let's come back up here. If you have any questions, I will be there to answer for you. And I hope that you guys all take this and see how easy it is and go forward and try to copy what I've done. And if you already have a finish, whitewash is painted on and you strategically wipe it off. That is essentially the joy of being able to take an old piece of furniture and you don't want to change it a whole lot. Even if it's a stained piece of furniture, you can whitewash over that stain and get the look you're looking for. So go forth, have fun. God bless. See you later, maybe in July. Bye.